Hey guys, today we're going to talk about the types of decisions that donees under an LPA can make for the donor who has lost his mental capacity. I will start with the general and then go to the specific. Now, as you are aware, Form 1 LPA allows the donees to make decisions regarding to personal welfare and property and affairs. Now, what is personal welfare? Well, it includes lifestyle, where to live, healthcare. What about property and affairs? Property and affairs includes CPF, bank accounts, and insurance. So, let me give you specific examples of personal welfare. These are not exhaustive, which means they may include other things as well. So, for personal welfare, the donees can decide and make decisions on the daily schedule of the donor, the person who has lost mental capacity, the place where the donor stays, his residence, whether he stays with his brother, his sister, or with the donees, contacts and correspondence of the donor, for example, letters, mails, emails, basic day-to-day decisions such as diet, what he eats, dressing, social activities if he's able to. What about property and affairs? Well, the donees under an LPA can manage bank accounts, can manage stocks, shares, dividends of the donors, can, for example, if there is a scrip dividend scheme, that means the donor owns shares in the company that wishes to issue a dividends, and he has to choose whether he wants to receive cash or shares instead of cash. The donees are allowed to make the decision to choose cash or dividends instead of cash. They can make investments on behalf of the donor, buy shares, unit trusts, bonds. The LPA Form 1 also allow the donees to manage properties belonging to the donor who has lost mental capacity, such as HDB, condos, and houses. They can make decisions about renting them out, collecting the rent to pay his medical fees. They can make decisions to sell the house or the HDB flat. The LPA also allow the donees to withdraw the CPF balance in the donor's account to pay for his living or hospitalization expenses. Now, I'll go into very specific decisions that donees can make under the LPA Form 1. The first one relates to hospitalization. For example, for specific medical treatments, the donees are allowed to sign consent forms, specific medical treatments, where the consent of the person is needed, but because the donor has lost his mental capacity, he cannot give consent. Claims from insurance companies. For example, if the donor was injured, during some workplace incident, the donees can sign the insurance claim form on his behalf. Another example, car accidents. The donees can make damage claims from the insurance company by signing the insurance claim form. If there are possible lawsuits arising from the car accident, the donees can sign court documents on behalf of the donor and represent the donor in court. Managing bank accounts. The donees will be allowed to transfer money to family members, do personal authentication of bank accounts. What about running a business? What if the donor who has lost mental capacity is a business owner, he's a company director or shareholder? Well, the donees are empowered to pay salaries, pay rental for the office or the shop. They can sign checks on behalf of a donor who has lost mental capacity. They can sign renew tenancy agreements. They can make tax submissions by signing and filing IRAS documents. They can obtain government licenses and sign application forms on behalf of the business owner who has lost mental capacity. And as I mentioned earlier, property. They can rent out the house for income, sign tenancy agreements. They can sell the property. They can sign the sale and purchase agreement for the sale of the property. And they can make gifts to family members. That means transfer ownership of the house to the other family members for free, and by signing the legal documents for the transfer as a gift of the property. Transfer of the property as a gift by signing the legal documents for the transfer. So what kinds of decisions are donees not allowed to make? Well, they cannot allow the donor who has lost mental capacity to consent to marriage, to consent to divorce, to adopt or renounce a religion, to consent to treatment for sexual sterilization, that means like vasectomy. They cannot make decisions for the donor to consent to an abortion, or withdrawing an objection to remove an organ upon death. They also cannot make or revoke an advance medical directive, which is essentially a legal document saying that you do not want extraordinary life-sustaining treatment in the event of a terminal illness. LPA also does not permit the donees to change a will that has been executed by the donor during the period of time when he had mental capacity. So thanks for watching this video on the types of decisions that donees can make under an LPA.